when Vince McMahon pitched the Stuttering character to me after my second time being, sent back down and being called back up to SmackDown after doing the Team Lesnar angle and all that other stuff as a rookie, now having a little bit more experience under my belt. Well, I do remember telling him, I was like, Mr. McMahon, with all due respect, like, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, and I'll do it better than anybody. However, I was just on your television 6 months ago with Team Lesnar, and I did talk. How am I now not talking? Like, what are we going to say? How are we going to explain it? I overanalyze it like I overanalyze everything else. I think the way he pitched it to me was, again, he's like, well, have you ever gone into like a nightclub and see this really beautiful woman? I mean, just beautiful. And I'm like, well, I'm sure we all have, I'm like, yeah. And he's like, and then you go up to her and you talk to her and you try to, like, communicate with her, and then she has this really deep voice. I'm like, no, 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 that's never happened ever. He's like, go along with me. I'm like, okay. He goes, that's an Achilles heel. We need you to have an Achilles heel. You look like $1 million, right? Everybody tells me you're super educated. You have all these great things about you, but you don't have an Achilles heel. Matt, if you're going to be a successful professional wrestler, you have to have, especially as a heel, you have to have an Achilles heel. And I was like, okay. And he goes, for years I've been wanting to put this on somebody that I thought that was confident in enough themselves. When they get on a microphone, they're not going to get nervous, that they're going to be able to pull this off, and I think it's you. But I swear to God, as my witness, he told me he wanted to put this on Brock Lesnar at one point. Nobody will ever believe me, and I don't blame you for not believing me, but as God is my witness, he did say that. Somebody, again, is super muscular, super jacked up, has every accreditation there is athletically, all these types of things, right? But then you put that on him, I don't know. I'm just telling you that's how he pitched it to me. And again, he didn't need to tell me all that. He could have just said, Matt, your new character is you're stuttering. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I expect to be, and I told him, he goes, go back down to Louisville. I want you to work on this a little bit. I go, Mr. McMahon, with all due respect, if I'm going to do this, I want to be pulled back to TV next week. I'm not going back down there again, not because I don't want to be down there, but because my dream is to be on the road as a WWE superstar. That's my goal. That's my dream. And so I want to be pulled back up as soon as possible, and I will ace it. I will do it to the best of my ability, and I promise I will work on it. I go, but I don't need to go back down there to work on it, So he kept his word. I was up on the next, maybe like 2 SmackDowns later, I debuted.
Do you know why you got released? That when you did get released?
No, no, they never gave me a reason. They just said, hey, it's not working out. Um, we do need you to go out and get more experience. We need you to get main event experience. They're very explicit about that. I'm sorry, specific about that. Um, and I'd rather hear that and then come back in a couple years. But if I'm being honest, I didn't come back to them in a couple years because I was still pretty pissed that I put all that sweat equity like everybody else does. But he also gave me a albatross around my neck with a stuttering character, and I said, "How high? How high you want me to jump with it?" Instead of being boo boo face about it and bitching about it backstage, nobody ever heard me bitch about that character.